So let's take a look at this agency, CDC's new guidance for fully vaccinated people. Let's have a look at this. So they go and tell you what fully vaccinated people can and can't do. Okay, listen to this. This is gold. So fully vaccinated people can visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing. Okay, so if they're all fully vaccinated, no physical distancing or masks needed. You can visit with unvaccinated people from a single household who are at low risk for severe COVID-19 disease indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing. Interesting. So they can meet with people who are unvaccinated, so long as they're not at high risk of getting severe COVID-19. And then finally, refrain from quarantine and testing following a known exposure, if asymptomatic. And then it goes on. On the flip side, it says, for now, fully vaccinated people should continue to take precautions in public, like wearing a well-fitted mask and physical distancing. Okay, so when you're out in public, you still need to wear a mask, even if you're fully vaccinated, okay? And then it says, wear masks, practice physical distancing, and adhere to other prevention measures when visiting with unvaccinated people who are at increased risk for severe COVID-19 disease. Yeah, I think these CDC guidelines are fascinating, okay? I think they're incredible, actually. I think they're very telling. So let's just break that down for a second. Okay, so if you're fully vaccinated, you can meet with other fully vaccinated people. Nobody has to wear masks or distance. Remember, these guys know that if you are fully vaccinated, you can still get infected and still transmit. Remember, these guys know that if you're fully vaccinated, you're still capable of getting infected with the SARS-CoV-2 virus and of transmitting it, okay? So we have fully vaccinated, they can meet without masks, without distancing, okay? First problem, if you believe everything they're telling you, that you're supposed to wear masks to still try to prevent the spread, so why would you have fully vaccinated people who are equally capable of getting infected and transmitting? Why would you make the rules different for them? They could meet each other after coming into contact with somebody who's got the virus and then spread it to one another. Okay, and then go out and spread it to other people. Okay, so nothing's changed about this, and yet they're allowed to do this. The next point said fully vaccinated people can meet with unvaccinated people, so long as they're not high risk. Okay, so low risk people, so young people with no comorbidities. Fully vaccinated people can come into close contact with them, don't have to distance, don't have to wear a mask. They're allowed to do this, okay? And then it says that even if you come into contact with somebody who's got the virus, so long as you have no symptoms, you don't need to isolate. I think this is incredible. Okay, I could have written this guidance and called it a guidance for asymptomatic healthy people since the beginning of this pandemic. And it would have sounded just like this. Okay? If you had no symptoms, you didn't need to distance and wear masks and isolate and all this stuff. You didn't need to do that. If you have no symptoms, you're not going to transmit it. They're telling you this in this document. But for some reason, they're getting away with telling you the truth just because they're putting it on a fully vaccinated person. But it doesn't matter. We have established that whether you're vaccinated or not, you can still get the virus. You can still transmit it. So whether you have symptoms or not shouldn't matter. It's either you believe in symptomatic or asymptomatic spread or you don't. Okay, and in a funny way, this document is telling you the truth and people aren't even realizing it. They're actually being very openly honest about what the truth is about this all. And they're saying the things that we've been saying all along. By the way, the guidance not only tells you don't have to isolate or quarantine after you've knowingly been exposed to somebody with COVID-19. Okay, if you're asymptomatic, if you don't develop any symptoms, they tell you also don't have to get a test. Okay, you don't have to get a test. So understand that they're changing the rules, right? Yeah, on the surface, it might sound great. Like, oh, great, we're loosening up. What do you think is going to happen to the case count? When you have fewer tests being done, then you have fewer false positives happening, right? You're telling people who are fully vaccinated, even if you come in contact with somebody who tested positive, if you don't develop symptoms, don't get a test. Don't get one. You don't have to get one. If you don't get a test, the cases will come down. So they'll tell you that the vaccine is slowing the spread because the case count will come down. They're also telling fully vaccinated people not to get tests. So they're going to have very low numbers of people with the vaccine testing positive because they're being told not to test once they got the vaccine. Okay, you don't think that's going to manipulate the data a little bit? Okay, if you go to when they're supposed to wear masks, they're supposed to wear masks in public because they truly don't believe that the vaccine will stop the spread. Okay, so they're telling you to wear masks as an additional measure, even though the masks don't work either. Okay, but they're telling you to do that, and they're telling you still got to wear the mask when you come into contact with high-risk unvaccinated people. Okay, so whether you're vaccinated or not, you should have always been careful around those who are at risk and been able to mingle with people who are not at risk. And this is exactly what we've been saying all along. And yet we weren't allowed to do that. But now they're allowing that for fully vaccinated people, which really there's no evidence or justification for why a fully vaccinated person who can get the disease or get the virus and transmit it, there should be no exceptions. And nobody sees this. It's right there. They're telling you. CDC even provides this great diagram to show you how vaccinated people and unvaccinated people can hang out so long as they're all low-risk people. Okay, which is exactly right. If you were low risk, you didn't need the vaccine to do that. The vaccine doesn't stop infection or transmission. So this means nothing, okay? All along, those people who wanted to be able to go out without a mask and without distancing and just be careful and use common sense were right. And the CDC is telling you this in a roundabout way with this diagram. So now you mark my words, okay? You'll see that because the fully vaccinated people are not testing, following exposure to anybody, they're not going to get tested because they're told they don't need to get a test. If they think that they need to get a test, they're going to call. They're going to come in to get a test. And they're going to be told, you don't have to get a test. You're fully vaccinated. Bye-bye. Right? So what do you think is going to happen? The numbers are going to go down. First of all, the total case count is going to come down. And they're going to say, oh, look at that. After people start getting fully vaccinated, the case count went down. So the vaccine is slowing the spread. And then they're also going to say, among people who are fully vaccinated, we're not seeing any positives. So then they're going to tell you that the vaccine actually does stop infection or reduces it by this ridiculously high percentage number, because they're going to say, well, look at what a small percentage of fully vaccinated people there are who tested positive, because you're going to have mistakes. Some people will come in, get a test, insist to get a test, or somebody's not going to do their job and turn them away. So you'll get a couple, but it'll be such a small number of people who are fully vaccinated who get tested. So you'll have these really, really small positive tests in that group. And so they're going to tell you, look at how few positive tests there are among people who are vaccinated. Wow, this vaccine is stopping the infection. And that's a lie. But if you don't do your own research and you don't use any critical thinking, then you're not going to see that and you're not going to know that, because there is nobody in the mainstream media who's telling you this. They're going over the new guidance, but they're leaving out the stuff that I just talked about. They're not letting you see ahead. Where's this going? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that and want to see more, hit the like button and feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. This content can be found on BitChute, Parler, Rumble, Gab, and MeWe. So please follow, subscribe, and turn post notifications on so that you know when the next post drops. Thanks, and see you soon.